There is a reason that people repeat the same relationship patterns and not a lot of people know about it. So we all have something I call the relationship blueprint. This blueprint is not only about our relationships, but it is also about our relationship to ourselves. It outlines our identity, our beliefs around ourselves, and especially our beliefs around ourselves in relationship, in love. And it's called a blueprint because it's just the way that we are wired to act kind of automatically without necessarily consciously being aware, because a lot of what it is and what we do is unconscious. So it is created from our first relationships, but this is the science part that most people don't know. The science is pretty simple, and it's that when we are children, we are in a completely different lens than we are now as adults. And so understanding this, we have to be open to a different viewpoint, and that is taking in the context that children are reliant on their caregivers, on their attachment figures for survival. This is the part where most people check out because they think all of their survival needs were met. But the part that we need to understand is that what really determined our feeling of survival as a child was not the actual conditions itself objectively that we can see as an adult now. It was entirely based off of our bond with our attachment figure, meaning we could have objectively everything that a child could ever need and more, and still have some issues around our relationship blueprint. And the bond part is not just as simple as it sounds. It's not just the relationship or the quality of the relationship with our attachment figures necessarily. The bond is a complex combination of the way that we are wired, the way our nervous systems are wired, our caregiver attachment figure's nervous system and what is there. This can include their limiting beliefs, the way that they were raised to see the world, the way that they internalize their pain from their lives as beliefs, as assumptions about the world and life and how people should be, how integrated they are with things like confidence, self-worth, their emotions, and their sense of identity and well-being. The reason all of those things have to do with us and are relevant to this bond is because our job as children is we have to go around all of those things in order to actually reach the parent, to not only connect with our caregiver, but maintain a solid sense of ongoing connection. We have to build such a unique structure at that early age that we do subconsciously, not consciously, as our survival system's way of being able to ensure that we will continuously be connected to that person in charge of our survival. Whatever our attachment figures we're holding, we have like a specific code for that specific thing because we had to build a blueprint that, like I said, was able to survive through disconnection, adapt to whatever they were holding. And if those are things like confidence or self-assurance or effective coping, then maybe we got some of that. But in this flawed world that we are living in, where most have not really been taught how to cope with the world's events, challenges historically, the ways that we didn't learn to cope generationally back then have still continued to live on. So the reason that most people continue to repeat these patterns in their lives and also generationally without changing them or stopping them is because the nature of this blueprint, of these patterns, is that they are subconscious. When something lives in the subconscious, we usually don't see it in our day-to-day lives. We see it if we see things in patterns. We see it by looking at things that have shown up consistently over time. Most people do get clues into these patterns if they have had multiple relationships. You get feedback from those relationships, but most people don't necessarily take that in. They might rewrite that feedback or they might rationalize it, and that is because it is hard to take in feedback like that, to consider that when you don't understand that it does come from that blueprint, that pattern, that it isn't this shame story that many feel, that it isn't just that there is something defective or wrong or broken inside of you, that instead it is just a set of beliefs, of rules, of conditions, and codes that we set very early on to help us survive our earliest relationships.